Hello, hello, hello. Let's do a list. You love lists. You love it. You love a list. We've got a list here. This is from You Discover Music. They're part of, I think, Universal Music, the record music record. I don't know what would is conglomerate. I don't know what is Universal Music these days. But anyway, they've got a list that we might be interested in that we can look at. Now I've already seen this list, but I'm going to pretend, for the purposes of this video, to be surprised and shocked and I'm going to do that. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Yeah? So shall we look at the list? This is the greatest prog rock singers. A top 30 countdown. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I wonder who could be on the list. So here is said list. And they've got some of the people that may or may not top the list. Gee, I wonder who tops the list. I do not know. I'm very good at this. In at number 30, it's Sonia Christina from Curved Air. A lady on the list. Interesting. I mean, there could be quite a few ladies on this list, couldn't there? Well, I mean, I know, but there could be a couple at least. Now, when I first saw this list, my first impression was 30. Really? There's as many as that? Because I didn't think there was that many. At 29, Fish from Marillion. Remember the man that banned me from his concerts. These things happen. These things happen again. Famous for being with Marillion and his solo career. 29, yeah, I think that's probably fair, isn't it? Really, probably fair. Crept in at the bottom. Though were Marillion ever really prog? I've always still got them down as a pop band that had prog aspirations, because again, EMI wouldn't have signed them in 1982 or whenever it was. You know, if they weren't going to sell records, and to sell records, you got to be pop, and they were on top of the pops an awful lot, weren't they, back in the 80s? Derek Shulman from Gentle Giant. Thought he might have got a bit higher than 28. Again, I'm not a big fan of Gentle Giant, but I mean, come on, guys. Should make that a bit bigger. Here we go. What? 27? Steve Walsh from Kansas. Now, as we know, Kansas can't really be on this list because they're American and progressive rock is British. It's not an American thing. So, sorry, Steve, you're going to have to be off the list. And if you want to argue with me, Steve Howe even said at the Prog Awards a few years ago that progressive rock was a peculiarly British phenomenon. There you go. So I was right. Oh, Steve Hogarth charts higher than Fish. Oh my God, the Fish fans will be throwing their shoes at the scream. He's the fellow that took over from Fish back in 1980. Again, with Season's End. God, I remember that, 89 it was. And again, he's been with the band a lot longer, and he's what the band needed, because again, they got kind of stuck in a rut with the other fella. So yeah, I agree with that. I think he could have been a bit higher. I think Marillion are underevaluated often, especially their latter work. Everyone goes on about Fish, and I think the second phase of Marillion is well worth it. The Strawbs, Dave Cousins, that's an interesting one. You won't catch me, I'm part of the union. You won't catch me, I'm part of the union. You won't catch me, I'm part of the union. Till the day I die. Till the day I die. It's funny because it's kind of if you listen to the actual lyrics, it's an anti-union song, but it was adopted by the unions. They saw it as being a positive thing. Again, Strawbs. I mean, it could have gone a bit lower. I think he's placed a bit high. He could have been at number 30, I reckon, because Strawbs, nobody. This is an interesting one. Robert Wyatt, Soft Machine solo, progressive rock. Really. Shipbuilding and I'm a Believer. Those bastions of prog rock. No. I don't think he should even be on the list, to be honest. But maybe Kevin Ayers should be. Maybe Kevin Ayers is. Who knows? 23, Sally Oldfield. An interesting addition, because famous for being Mike Oldfield's sister, older sister at that. Her album Waterbearer is fantastic. Go and check it out. Again, she does all the instruments. I have to say that she does all the instruments on that. And again, appeared on Hackett's Voyage of the Acolyte, on Shadow of the Hierophant. In at 22, Richard Sinclair from Caravan. Again, there were a couple of singers with Caravan, so okay. We'll stick with that. Again, Caravan are always a band that, you know, and also Camel as well. Again, it all got a bit incestuous, didn't it, with the old Canterbury scene? The Camel part of the Canterbury scene? I don't know. Anyway, Richard Sinclair. Ah, that's an interesting one. Roger Chapman from Family. Again, very distinctive voice. Again, if you've checked out any of Family's work, very, very distinctive. He's got a voice as rough as a badger's bum. But, yeah, okay, we'll get that. Stephen Wilson, really? Vocalist, you know, singer? Seriously? He's one of the weakest singers ever. You know, he's just... Shouldn't be on the list, I'm afraid. Shouldn't be on the list. Sorry. Ah, Geddy Lee, now there's a voice. Only at 19. And again, Canada, Rush... Look, I'm going to let them on because, you know, Canada, they're colonial cousins of ours. You know, they're basically English people, but, you know, a bit weird. So I'm going to let them on. I'm going to let Rush on, and of course his voice is up there with John Anderson's. You know, the old higher register material. But again, should have gone a bit higher, I believe. Gary Brooker from Prog, a great vocalist, but of course you're going to have. You're going to have the, was it Whiter Shade of Pale as the standout? It's the hit. But again, the song that I've mentioned, The Salty Dog, is one of my favourites. That album is a really good record. I really like that one. And if you listen to that, you can hear, again, I do believe that Peter Gabriel was influenced by him because he has a certain timbre to his voice that Gabriel channels sometimes. An interesting one. Ike Willis from the Frank Zappa Band. Again, you've got to ask yourself, is Frank Zappa prog? No, I don't think he is. He's beyond that. He's everything but prog, if you know what I mean. So, okay, a bit of an odd choice, but... the guy from Focus... with his yodeling, yeah. Roy Harper, again, is he prog when he's more folk? Not sure if it should be on the list. And in at 14, Adrian Belew. Okay, we'll do that. Again, that band has had many vocalists. Let's see how many of them make the list. Oh, Ian Anderson at 13. A bit low. I thought he might have placed higher. Again, his voice early on in the Toll career, very good, very distinctive. But again, after it's around Heavy Horses that it all starts to disintegrate for him, and he loses a lot of his ability, which is a great shame. But yeah, again, thought we might have placed higher. Here's an odd one. Maddie Pryor from Steel Eye Span. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say she's prog, but more under the folk banner, but should be on the list. Todd Rundgren, really? No, just no. And at number 10, Justin Hayward, getting into the heavy hitters now of the Moody Blues. Again, another distinctive voice like Gary Brooker. So, yeah. 9, Kate Bush. Interesting. Again, her work has elements of progressive music. Does a lot of work in the pop strand. Should have got higher. If we're gonna go there, I think we need to go higher. I think she should be at least number 2. And then really Peter Gabriel at 8. Now Gabriel should be at 1. And Kate Bush should be at number 2. It's obvious as that. This list is wrong. This list is wrong. especially if they put Peter Gabriel below Phil Collins. Pretends to be shocked. Oh my God, Phil Collins is at number 7. Again, he done more of his singing as part of the pop brigade. Brought more pop sensibility to the band with his own career as well. So yeah, but again, should be a little bit lower, maybe a little bit lower, seeing as Gabriel, kind of pushed the way forward with that band. Gilmour at 6. Interesting. So where's Roger Waters and Richard Wright? Because they come together, don't they? All those 3 voices, they blend. There's no one. I mean, there is like one singer now, but back in the day, there were 3 singers in the band. 4, if you can include Barrett. I mean, is Barrett going to be on the list? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Annie Haslam from Renaissance. Good choice. But again, should be down lower. If she's higher than Kate Bush, that feels a bit wonky to me. A little bit wonky. Bush should be higher than Haslam, though I do like her work, obviously, with Renaissance. In at 4, John Wetton. Oh, well, there's one. We're getting to the big hitters now. I think that's a deserved place. I think that's right. Again, in that band and UK Asia. And don't forget Mogul Thrash and Family as well. So he's got a lot of credentials there. And here's a real shocker. Number 3, John Anderson. Really? I mean, one list, you could have him at number 1, couldn't you, really? He is the quintessential progressive rock singer. But, and again, he's had his career with John and Vangelis as well. And, very distinctive voice. Did guest spots with Mike Oldfield, among others. And that band on Lizard. Number 2, it's Greg Lake with that band, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Again, one of the greats. Again, could be at number 1. But of course, what they've done is they've put Peter Hamlet at number 1. And I'm like, really? Are you sure about this? Don't get me wrong. Peter Hamlet is a great singer. But he's not Peter Gabriel. And he's not John Anderson. And he's not Greg Lake. And he has one style of thing that he does. He does and that's it. He never did a Sledgehammer, did he? He never did an Invisible Touch. He never did I'll Find My Way Home. And that's the limit of Mr. Hamill. Again, lists are for idiots. Lists are stupid, as we've just seen on this. Peter Hammer's at the top. That's ridiculous. He should be 6 or 7-ish if you're going to do a proper list. And 30, really? I think that's a bit excessive. So yeah, there you go. That's the top 30 progressive rock. Some dubious fucking entries on there as well, and I'm sure there have been many that have been missed out and forgotten. If you think about it, there's many people that they could have put on there. I mean, crikey, you could have put David Sylvian on there, couldn't you? Because again, his career has been very, very proggy. But they didn't. There's many. Laurie Anderson should have been on the list. Because her entire career has been utterly far ahead progressive, but they wouldn't even think of including her. Where's Brian Eno? Where's Brian Eno? Why ain't Brian Eno on the list? So they could have knocked out some of those other ones, and added some other people. But yeah, that's why lists are a bit daft, and I don't really care for them much. But they're good for a little bit of video distraction on this cold Tuesday morning. Though you may watch this in the summer and think, what's he blathering on about? But yeah. So what do you think? Again, pretend to engage with the audience. What do you think? Tell me your thoughts in the comment box below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that's what you've got to do if you're a YouTuber. You've got to do all that bollocks to soothe the algorithm, whatever that is. A list. There you go, a list video for you. And I guess that was kind of a prog review kind of video, wasn't it? So I guess you better go on, prog on.